All right. So you want to mine Bitcoin online without any equipment. Yeah. When I saw your article, I was like, how to mine Bitcoin online without equipment?
Yeah.
I mean, how is that even possible?
Yeah, it's a pretty new approach. A lot of people are talking about it. It's definitely shaking things up a little bit. Um, it all starts with mining and how much it's changed. Do you remember like way back when you could mine Bitcoin on just a regular computer?
I've heard stories about those days.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's hard to imagine just my old laptop churning out Bitcoin now.
Right. And, as more and more miners jumped in, the difficulty went way up.
Yeah.
And it basically made it impossible for, just your average computer to compete. And that's where those ASICs came in, the
Yeah.
specialized hardware that uses a lot of energy.
Okay. So is online mining like trying to get around needing to buy those expensive ASICs? But how does it actually work without any equipment on my end?
This is where things get interesting, I think. Platforms are actually starting to use NFTs, not just for digital art, but as contracts. They represent shares in mining operations. So you can kind of think of it like owning a slice of a gold mine, except it's a Bitcoin mine, and your deed is an NFT.
Okay, that's starting to make a little more sense. So
Yeah.
instead of buying like a whole mining rig, I buy an NFT.
Oh,
And it represents like a piece of a bigger mining operation.
exactly. You're basically buying into a managed mining service. The
Yeah.
platform takes care of all the technical stuff for you, the hardware, the maintenance, all that. And then you receive your portion of the Bitcoin rewards directly. No need to be some kind of tech expert yourself.
I like simple. Your article focuses on Go mining. What makes them different in this new online mining world?
Well, they've made it pretty accessible. You can start mining with them for as little as $25.
Wow, really? So like less than a tank of gas these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's way different than buying all that expensive mining hardware.
And they're also pretty big on energy efficiency. They say they're using tech that brings their energy consumption down to just 15 watts per terahash.
I gotta admit, I'm not really sure what a terahash is or why 15 watts is good.
Haha, fair enough. Think of it this way. Traditional Bitcoin mining operations use enough energy to power small cities. Go mining claims that their approach uses about the same amount of energy as running your laptop for a day. And they mine the same amount of Bitcoin as those big operations. It's a huge difference. And it could help make Bitcoin mining a lot more sustainable.
So it's not just about saving money on mining, it's about being better for the environment too.
Yeah.
That's something I think a lot of people care about more and more these days.
Absolutely. And from what I've seen, Go Mining's platform is really easy to use. You can see everything, your mining rate, your rewards, all that.
So no need to know how to code just to see how my investment is doing. That I can get behind.
Yeah, and you can scale up your mining too. So if you want to increase your potential earnings, you can upgrade your contract or even buy more NFTs to get a bigger share of the mining power.
Oh. Oh, interesting. So I'm not locked in at one level. I can test it out and then decide if I want to go bigger.
Exactly. Now, the other interesting part about Go Mining is their own token. It's called the Go Mining token, and it adds a whole other layer of
Yeah, I was kind of wondering about that. The article mentioned it, but didn't really go into a lot of detail. What's the deal with the Go mining token? What does it actually do?
it's a utility token. It basically gives you special perks within the Go Mining platform.
Perks? I like perks. What kind of perks?
Well, if you hold a certain amount of their token, you get discounts on things like energy costs and maintenance fees.
So like if I'm serious about mining with them, holding the token could save me some money. Pretty smart.
But here's the kicker. You also get governance rights with the Go Mining token.
What's that? Like voting rights.
It's about having a say in how the platform is run, how decisions are made. It's kind of like being a shareholder in a company.
Oh, wow. So it's not just about discounts. Then it's like I'm part of the decision making?
Exactly. And on top of that, you have passive influence potential too. You can stake your Go Mining tokens and earn a pretty nice annual percentage rate. Right now it's at 22%.
22%. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Passive income is always nice. Anything else about the Go mining token that stands out?
One more thing. They have a deflationary model built into the token.
Deflationary. What's that mean for a token?
It means the total supply of Go Mining tokens is designed to decrease over time. They do this by periodically doing these token burns, which basically means they're permanently removing some tokens from circulation.
Okay. Why would they do that, though?
Because of scarcity. By reducing the number of tokens available, they increase the scarcity of the token. And
Right.
usually when something is more scarce, it increases in value. It's a move that could drive up the price of the Go Mining token.
Okay, so there's discounts, governance, passive income, and this whole deflationary model. It's like a whole mini economy within Go mining.
It is, and it's a good example of how utility tokens are evolving. They're
Mhm.
becoming valuable assets in their own right.
So we've covered how online mining works and gotten to know Go mining a bit. But how does online mining compare to traditional mining with all the hardware and stuff? What are the advantages?
That's what we need to look at next, because it's more than just not needing to buy all that expensive equipment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let's break it down.
Well, I think the most obvious one is cost, right? You don't have to buy all that expensive
Yeah,
hardware.
those ASIC miners can be crazy
Oh,
expensive.
yeah. Thousands of dollars.
Or even more.
Easily. Yeah. Plus, there's electricity and the maintenance. And with online mining, you don't have to deal with any of that.
Yeah, that's a big barrier to entry. It makes mining possible for, like, regular people.
Exactly. And it's not just the cost up front, it's the flexibility. With traditional mining, you're stuck with whatever hardware you buy. But online, like Go mining, you can start small and then scale up gradually.
So it's lower risk, too. Good for someone just starting out with mining. Speaking of which, how does the whole mining pool thing work with online mining? Is it like the traditional mining pools?
It is, yeah. Even though you're online, you're still kind of joining forces with other miners to solve the math problems and earn rewards. The platform manages it all for you, so you don't have to worry about the technical stuff.
Convenient. Are there any other platforms doing online mining in different ways?
Oh, yeah, definitely. Go mining is just one example. Some platforms focus on specific types of mining, like cloud mining, where you rent computing power.
So there's choices depending on what you want.
Right. Now, online mining has a lot of advantages, but we can't forget about the risks. Crypto can be risky.
Good point. No investment is perfect.
Yeah.
What are some of the downsides people should be aware of?
Well, one of the biggest ones is Bitcoin's volatility. I mean, the price of Bitcoin can go up and down a lot.
Hmm.
So even if you're mining the same amount, your rewards might be worth less if the price drops.
So you're still at the mercy of the market even if the platform is doing well.
Yep. And you also have to rely on a third party. You're trusting the platform to manage everything, honestly.
So like trusting a bank, but with Bitcoin and mining?
Yeah. So it's important to do your research. Look for platforms with a good reputation that are transparent and have good reviews.
What are some things people should watch out for?
If they're promising like crazy returns, that's probably a bad sign. And look at how transparent they are about their operations. Like, do they tell you about their hardware and their energy use and fees? If they're being secretive, that's probably a bad sign.
So transparency is important. How about security? Is online mining more risky for hacking or scams?
Security is always important with crypto, so look for platforms that are serious about it, like if they use two-factor authentication and things like that.
So just because you're not managing the hardware yourself doesn't mean you can forget about security.
Right. And another thing you can do is diversify. Spread your investment across multiple platforms just in case.
That's good advice for any investment, really. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. So we've talked about how online mining can help individual miners, but what does it mean for the future of Bitcoin mining as a whole?
Yeah.
Is online mining going to be the new normal?
Well, it's hard to predict the future, but I have some thoughts. Well, I think there are a few things that will determine that.
Okay, like what?
One is the environmental piece. Those big traditional Bitcoin mines use a lot of energy,
Yeah.
and people are starting to really care about that. So finding more sustainable solutions is important.
And online mining fits into that, right?
Mm.
Especially with Go mining and their focus on energy efficiency.
Right. It could be a big selling point if they can show that they're using energy responsibly, and not just for individual miners,
Yeah.
but for like institutions too.
Yeah. If Bitcoin is seen as less harmful, it'll be more popular overall.
Exactly. And that leads into another trend. Institutions are getting more and more interested in Bitcoin.
It's pretty amazing how far Bitcoin has come. I mean, it used to be this fringe thing, and now it's like mainstream.
Yeah. And as more institutions get involved, they'll need reliable and regulated ways to invest.
So online mining could be a good option for them,
Definitely. It's a way to get involved without having to build their own mining operation.
right? Because that would be a huge undertaking.
Oh, yeah, totally. And on top of that, the tech behind online mining is always getting better. Energy efficiency is going up, hardware is being optimized, so it's getting more and more profitable.
So it's not just convenience, it's about better returns too.
Exactly. And I think we'll see even more innovation in online mining as the tech keeps improving.
So we've got the environmental stuff, the institutions, and the tech. It sounds like online mining is going to be a big deal.
I think so. But of course, there are some challenges too. We talked about some of the risks, like Bitcoin's price going up and down and relying on third-party platforms. But there are other things too.
Oh yeah, like what?
Well, one is regulation. Governments are still trying to figure out how to regulate crypto, so who knows what kinds of rules they'll make for these online platforms.
So it's kind of the Wild West right now.
For sure, and that could be tricky for the platforms to deal with. Another potential problem is centralization. If just a few big companies control all the online mining, then it undermines the whole point of Bitcoin, which is decentralization.
Yeah, we don't want to see all the power in the hands of a few. So what can we do to stop that?
Well, having lots of competition would help. The more choices there are, the better. And transparency is important too. The platforms need to be upfront about how they operate and their fees so that people can trust them.
So transparency, competition, and hopefully some good regulations. Sounds like a good plan.
Yeah, and remember, it's still early for online mining, but I think it has the potential to make mining accessible to everyone and more sustainable.
That's great.
It really is. And it just goes to show how innovation keeps changing the crypto world.
Well, we've talked about a lot today. Online mining, the good and the bad, and what it means for the future of Bitcoin. Hopefully our listeners feel like they can explore this new world a little better now.
Me too. It's really interesting, and I think everyone should be paying attention to it.
Absolutely. And if there's one thing you should take away from this, it's to always do your research and never be afraid to ask questions.
Couldn't have said it better myself. The more you know, the better prepared you'll be.
Well said. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive.
It's been my pleasure.
And to everyone listening, keep learning, keep exploring, and we'll catch you next time.